local people, local news and events, local sports, local matters. For all things Lloydminster area, this is Live with Kurt Price.
Hey, welcome inside the new Lloydminster Nissan, where right now you can get 0% financing on the incredibly popular Nissan Rogue, Sentra, and Kicks models. And the new Lloydminster Nissan service department is now open on Saturdays from 9 to 1. Don Bowey is here. He joins us with details on the Centennial Civic Centre's farewell concert. It is a one more time cabaret and concert, which is coming up this month. Yes, here we are into September and the first day of school. And we've got your Lloydminster look back today with a first day of school from 2001 as well. SwiftNet.ca is now available in Lloydminster, Cold Lake, North Battleford, and surrounding communities. Get local internet that you can rely on with no data caps starting at just $39.99. And because they're local, you won't spend hours on hold anymore. It's unmatched customer service. Call 306-825-7111 today or visit swiftnet.ca. Yeah, it does feel like fall. Of course, the farmers are out, so keep those nominations coming for Meals in the Fields. We delivered our first meal last Thursday to the Wakefield Becks Farm, and they farm around Hillmont, Green Street. And it was a scorcher. Doesn't look like it will be that hot this week, but still nice harvest weather. They're saying 16 degrees, I believe, for Thursday right now. So this year, to go along with our lunches, one farm will also win a harvest wrap-up party for up to 50 people, and each farm that's nominated is also going to be entered to win 160 acres of spraying from Bradley Air Spray. So we're teaming up with Farm Credit Canada, Diamond 7 Meats, the Tent Guys, Asset Link Heavy Equipment Sales, Vical Agro, Sobeys, and Bradley Air to head out and thank our Midwest farmers this year. So get those nominations in. You can do so on our Facebook page or any of our sponsor pages as well. This is Recovery Week, and Residents in Recovery is hosting many events and courses. There are two naloxone training sessions that go at noon and 7 p.m. today. They are free. Tomorrow, there are addiction in the workplace workshops at the Thorpe Recovery Center. And Thursday, a new event, a panel discussion called From Criminal to Contributor. And Tyler Lorenz told us about the panelists and the discussion that will take place.
We're all going to take, 5 to 10 minutes, share a little bit about our story, and then open it up at a panel. Yeah. Judge Kreitzer will say a few words, share a little bit about his thoughts and what he sees, and same with Melanie Flynn. She'll share, from their perspective, of policing. We all have a different angle in this, right? But ultimately, I think we're all motivated to, rather than incarcerate, everybody, let's get the people, that struggle with addiction the help they need so that we don't have to deal with this.
Tickets are available on Eventbrite. They are only $10, and I will be your moderator. The Beef Fisher Foundation is hosting their pickleball tournament again this year. They're going to do so in early October, and Kim Crockett told us they've learned a lot. The first year, they were a little nervous to do it, but this year's event is going to be bigger and better.
So last year, we just did a one-day tournament. This year, we said, let's make our capacity a lot bigger and see if people will fill up the spots. So registrations have already started, and what we're doing, we're running different divisions on each day. So on Saturday, October the 4th, we're going to run a beginner division, a mixed competitive, and a mixed intermediate division. And on the Sunday, we will run men's and women's, both intermediate and competitive divisions. And so what it does, it allows the real diehard pickleball players, if they want to play in the mixed division, they can do that on Saturday and then come back the next day and they can play in either the men's or the women's event as well.
The Terry Fox Run is Sunday, September 14th in a new location this year. It's going to be held at Kinsman Park. This Sunday, the organizing committee is hosting a pancake breakfast with the help of Spiro's at Spiro's, and that runs from 8 to 11 a.m., and you can get pancakes and sausage by donation. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun, and I'll be volunteering at that. The Back to School Community Registration and Volunteer Fair takes place tomorrow night at the Service Sports Centre, and that runs from 4 to 8 p.m. Those looking for a new hobby, sport, or a way to get involved are encouraged to explore and take a look at some opportunities and some programs presented by many different organizations in our community, and any and all ages are welcome. Yeah, first day of school. I know a lot of nervous kids. My heart goes out to those kids that are starting a new school today. Those are the ones that will be so nervous today. And it's time now for the Lloydminster Look Back. And with this being the first day of school, we go back 24 years to the first day of school at E.S. Laird, which turns out was a little delayed.
It's a bright, cheerful, larger school for our students to enjoy.
This was the scene just 2 weeks ago at E.S. Laird School. Construction on a number of upgrades were falling behind. As a result, administrators were forced to push back the opening day. However, no one seemed to be complaining about the missed time.
The kids weren't complaining about having days off, and actually starting off after the long weekend, it was good for even us teachers. It was nice to have the long weekend and get back with the kids.
Long summer.
Yeah, and I got to bug my brother because he's in elementary.
Just about everything is now ready. The gym and the stage area are still not quite completed, but should be broken in by the end of September. Returning students were impressed with the changes.
Wow, it looks a lot better than it did last year. I barely recognize it.
Everybody can just sit down and talk.
And it's really big, so not crowded. Because before our school used to be so small.
We have a few things that we have to work out. For example, our volleyball program is impacted by not having a gym, but our colleagues and neighbors at Jack Kemp School and Winston Churchill are helping us out. We're able to use their gyms after school for volleyball practices and some of our home games.
Any other headaches should be minimal. The time lost was short enough that teachers will be able to adjust their lesson plans without any difficulty.
The administration part of it may be cut down a little short. Like usually we might spend a few more days getting things set up in our classes, where we might rush out a little bit more and get more into the curriculum, but throughout the year we'll be able to make up that time, no problem.
Court Smith, NewsHour.
And we are very excited to announce our new partnership with Umbrella Marketing Design for Cupcakes for Caregivers. Get your nominations in to recognize those tremendous workers and dedicated healthcare professionals and family members as well that go out of their way taking care of each other. You can nominate a caregiver just by sending an email to livewithkurtprice@gmail.com. Just tell us a little bit about that caregiver or caregivers and what makes them so special to you and those they care for. Cupcakes for Caregivers is proudly brought to you by Sobeys Lloydminster and, yes, Umbrella Marketing and Design. And we'll be heading out this week to deliver more cupcakes. You know, when United Way decided they could no longer function in Lloydminster, we went right away to Umbrella Marketing Design, who had expressed a desire to be a part of that beforehand. So we're really excited to bring them on. It's nice to have a sponsor that is really understands the importance of caregivers and is so dedicated to that. So we're excited to work with Deanna and her team at Umbrella Marketing and Design. Superior Water specializes in nothing but water, and with 25 years in the business, they're proud and confident that their water and service is superior. For iron filters, water softeners, reverse osmosis distillers, chlorine removal, and H2S odor removal, give Superior Water a call at 780-875-6636 or stop in to see them at their 57th Avenue location right beside Sheepskin Loft, and stay hydrated with pure, clean water. I drink Superior Water because I like the taste. Hey, it is Superior Water. We'll take a break, and when we come back, Don Bowey's going to tell us about this big farewell party for the Centennial Civic Centre as we get ready to say goodbye, and it gets ready to be torn down. That's coming up next.
At CK McKean Roofing, they understand what it took to put that roof over your head for your family. With over 20 years of experience under their belt, they strive to show you that with their workmanship and their integrity. Not all roofing companies are created equal, and that's why CK McKean Roofing encourages you to focus on your most important investments, your home and your family. CK McKean Roofing. Roofers do it on top.
At Diamond 7 Meats, we work with local farm families to provide a high-quality product and a great selection for you. Try our mouth-watering smokies, pulled pork, roast beef, and more, made pure and natural with no additives or fillers. We offer custom processing, and our experienced team works for you to provide a selection of sausage, burgers, and jerkies made to your specifications. Take your grilling to the next level with a Yoder smoker. Complete the grilling experience with Canadian-made, award-winning line of House of Q barbecue sauces. We're locally owned and operated, and we look forward to seeing you today.
At Lloydminster and District Co-op, membership matters more. Because being part of a co-op means you're connected to something bigger than yourself. From long-held legacy by those who built our communities, to people you call family, friends, and neighbors. When you're a Lloyd Co-op member, you're an owner in a local business that prides itself on purpose alongside profit. You earn cash back, you help support causes that matter most, and you're building a better way of life for the next generation. Membership matters more.
Hello, Lloydminster! We are thrilled to bring the Bin Blitz pop-up sale. This is drop every day, starting Thursday at $25, Friday at $15, Saturday is $5 day, and wrapping up on Sunday with $2 day. Join us on Thursday, September 18 for the first Bin Blitz sale at the Lloydminster exhibition in the Dick Jones Pavilion. The most fun you have ever had saving money.
BioClean Disaster Services is committed, certified, reliable, and celebrating 10 years and will help you get your life back. So what does that mean? Help you get your life back? Well, you know if you've gone through a fire or a flood, and it can be any little thing. Well, we talked to Evan Dagenhart last week, and he said the fridge was leaking, created a huge disaster in our house. Well, BioClean Disaster Services went in and cleaned that up. But until it gets done, so many things in your life get interrupted. Well, BioClean Disaster Services, what they do is they keep you up to date on what is happening with your renovation, and they do it very quickly. So if you've got a restoration project that needs to be done, call the local company, 1-833-246-8326. BioClean Disaster Services is not only your local restoration company, they're also Lloydminster's largest restoration company. They'll take care of your property, they'll take care of your belongings, but more than anything, they'll take care of you. BioClean Disaster Services. Well, we want to welcome Don Bowey in here at the new Lloydminster Nissan to talk about the huge farewell cabaret and concert coming up at the Centennial Civic Centre towards the end of September. Don is the acting manager of the Centennial Civic Centre and the Synovus Energy Hub. So your hands are full right now, Don.
It's a little busy right now, that's for darn sure. Thank you for having me, by the way.
Are you literally running back and forth between the two?
Right now, yes, yeah, until we finalize operations, yeah.
Yeah. So what is happening at the Centennial Civic Centre right now?
So right now, it's kind of the normal, thing you'd see from this time of year. We have the Bobcats camps and other hockey camps kind of starting up. Most teams are starting their seasons and their programs, kind of in coinciding with that back to school. So right now, that's what you're seeing a lot of at the Civic Centre is those type of operations.
So when do those kind of cease?
Right now, basically a lot of those will cease when we have that final transition date to the new facility, which we are getting very close.
So will the ice be out for the farewell concert?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be out by then.
Yeah.
And the concert is?
September 27th.
Okay.
Yeah.
September. So teams are in there now using the dressing room. Everything is business as usual.
Yeah.
At the Centennial Civic Centre.
Yeah. And then, probably mid-September, I would expect that transition to happen, and then we should be at the new facility for hockey operations, and that's when you'll see a lot of transformation going on to support this new event. So
that's okay. Let's talk about the Centennial Civic Centre and what you've got planned for September 27th.
Okay, so on the 27th, we're going to be celebrating 58 years of memories at the Civic Centre with, live music, presentations, and a cabaret and concert, just to kind of, help recognize the commitment and what the Centennial Civic Centre has meant to our community. So we're really, it's a hard thing to say goodbye, but we're trying our darndest, and figured one last bash to kind of honor that musical legacy and that kind of event legacy to really what the Civic Centre has meant for our community.
So what's that evening detail? Because I know it's not just like bang, the lights go out and there's somebody and Braden King's on stage. There's been some planning going into this.
Absolutely. So right now at 4 p.m. doors open, and there'll be an hour for cocktails for the folks who are going to be attending the cabaret portion. So you can come in, you can, we're going to have some stuff set up to recognize some of the events that have happened on site, and some little displays and everything, just to kind of really soak in those memories. So you can come at 4 p.m. for that.
Oh, so some displays will be there.
Yeah. We'll have some displays. We have some kind of, historical aspects of what, events that have happened, like, Allen Cup, most recently RBC Cup, but, going back into some of those legacy pieces, like when Johnny Cash played at the Civic Centre.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to believe Johnny Cash played at the Civic Centre, isn't it?
It's pretty wild when you actually look at who showed up there and what happened. It's more than you'd expect. Johnny Cash, June Carter, Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, and a bunch of others. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
So I guess when we think about the Civic Centre, we think about hockey.
Yeah.
I also held my wedding reception upstairs at the Centennial Civic Centre. It was awesome. Loved it there. But so many, like you mentioned, Johnny Cash.
Yeah.
Is that where Charlie Pride played too?
Yeah, I think it's where Charlie Pride played too.
Did Kenny Rogers play?
I think Kenny Rogers played there too. So it's pretty surprising when you look at the list of the names who've been in that facility and when they showed up. And then rodeos, when rodeos were a thing, they were held there as well. It's interesting talking about all the prep and how it's changed over the years. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I saw my first rodeo at the Centennial Civic Centre when the boys were back in town.
Yeah.
It was a great place to go watch rodeo, actually, when you think about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're right close to the action.
Well, and that's something that we hope to, work with our community partners and go forward in those type of things in the future here as well. So.
Yeah. So there'll be some displays. Sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, so there'll be some displays. You'll be able to kind of go down to the tables. We'll also have some merchandise to kind of, commemorate what the Civic Centre has meant to us. You can get a lot of that now. We have some online. It's really nice, stuff here. Just kind of celebrating the 58 years of operation and that really iconic kind of, design of the Civic Centre. So,
yeah.
But then about 5:30 is when the program actually starts. So that's when you're going to see presentations from local people about what the Civic Centre's made to them. Hopefully some hockey, grades that we can, relate to. And I believe you'll be.
I'm your host.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So thank you for that. So
yeah, me too.
Yeah, so really that presentation, we've got a few surprises that we want to, unleash for people. Some cool video pieces that will really, I think, be a bit of an emotional tearjerker for sure. So. Yeah.
And there's a meal, right?
Yes, absolutely. So that starts at 6 p.m.
Oh, that starts at 6. Good.
Yeah. So the catered meal starts at 6, and then the concert, I believe, starts at 7:30. So, yeah. So
how do you get tickets?
So right now there's a few different options. So you can buy tickets on Eventbrite. So you can go online and buy tickets right there. It'll showcase all that. Or if you want to buy tickets physically, you can go down to Service Sports Center or the museum to buy tickets directly.
Okay.
And the Cabaret is $100 for the meal ticket, and that gets you, access to the program and the whole, shebang. There is also a cheaper option, so you can come just for the concert only, and that's $40.
What time does that start?
That'll be doors open at 7 for the concert.
For the concert, 7. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I think you said that, but I might have cut you off.
Yeah, concert's at 7:30.
Concert's 7:30. Okay, perfect. And so that's an awesome option that you can come for either or on the evening. It's going to be an absolutely fun night. What has struck you? I know that for me, it really hit me when I walked into the Esso Cup and saw the city selling the sweaters with the Centennial Civic Centre on them and saying farewell. It hit me like, yeah, this is the last major event that we're having here, like over a few days, right?
Absolutely.
What struck you about the Civic Centre, its popularity?
Well, I think for a lot of folks, it hasn't become real yet. We're so tied up in our day-to-day, you mentioned, with, back to school and things of that nature. I think for me, it's just becoming real. As we do, are ready to make that transition to the new facility, and we are less at the Civic Centre, it becomes very real that this is happening. And I think that, will happen for the community here in September, especially once we do that transition with hockey operations. And, I really want to do it justice for what it's meant for our community. It's been, like you said, the amount of weddings that have happened there over the years is almost, innumerable. You can't put it into context. The other community-based events, the concerts, and then all the hockey that's happened there over years, even curling. Like, it's really hard to quantify what that building has meant to people.
Yeah, I think I saw the Rankin family there. I'm just going through all the concerts that I've seen there. I think Sawyer Brown played in there. Yeah, Marty Stewart.
Yeah,
I remember seeing Marty Stewart there, and yeah, there's been a lot. It's going to be a sad day when that building comes down.
It is going to be a sad day. And the tough part is there's some realistic items that go along with holding these big events. So you mentioned that the RBC was the last, the SO Cup was the last big event we hosted. There was a lot of logistical challenges we had to overcome in order to pull that off. You don't really see up front. So, those are one of the challenges that we have in this day of age of attracting events like that, there are limitations with the facilities that we have, and we really want to bring the best entertainment we can to Lloydminster. So
we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the new arena, the Synovus Energy Hub. That'll be just a moment.
How can you help support the oil and gas industry and jobs in Western Canada? The answer is closer than you think. Sell your scrap metals to PWM Steel. PWM sells scrap iron to Evraz, located in Regina. Evraz's #1 customer is the energy sector, building pipes and plates for the oil and gas industry. PWM Steel is your locally owned metal recycler and steel service center in the area. Plus, they're a strong supporter of the community. PWM Steel, your top steel supplier for Alberta and Saskatchewan for 40 years.
At Jason Arden & Associates Cooperators, we're proud to be a top-rated local insurance company that offers flexible solutions and expert advice for all your insurance and investment needs. We'll work with you to tailor your insurance specific to your needs, and we offer investment advice that always puts you first.
At Cooperators, one of our core values is to give back to the communities that we live in. Thanks to the support of our clients in Lloydminster and area, in 2023, Jason Arden & Associates has donated $40,000 to local nonprofits, charities, students, athletes, and other special events. How does your insurance company support our community?
I'm Brian Zinchuk of PipelineOnline.ca. I used to be a pipeliner, and I've spent the last 15 years reporting on energy in Saskatchewan. PipelineOnline.ca provides comprehensive coverage of light oil, heavy oil, lithium, helium, power production including coal, wind, solar, geothermal, natural gas, and nuclear. There's a lot happening in Saskatchewan's energy sector, and Pipeline Online is there for all of it. No one else comes even close.
It's more than just taxes at LNA CPA. Assurance, accounting, retirement planning, estate planning, business consulting, financial consulting, farm program support, and bookkeeping. But yes, there is always taxes. The team at LNA CPA is committed to helping you achieve your best results and will be there to assist you every step of the way. LNA CPA, with offices in Provost, Vermilion, and Lloydminster.
Welcome to Wellings of Lloydminster and a community of ageless explorers. At Wellings, age is but a number and adventure is always part of the day. Come experience carefreedom living at Wellings of Lloydminster, where adults 55 plus enjoy a vibrant, stress-free way of life with a whole lot of fun. Stop in and say hello to the new general manager, Nicole, at 7211 72nd Avenue on the Alberta side. And visit wellingsoflloydminster.com for more. Wellings of Lloydminster, carefreedom living starts here. We've talked about the old, and just as we went to commercial, I turned to Dawn and said, I remember the media booth at the Centennial Civic Centre and being in that for the first time and going, this is the media booth. Like, I imagine the new Cenovus Energy Hub has quite a different view for broadcasters.
Oh, absolutely. So the Civic I would definitely describe as a very rustic, media booth, and a lot of things were not part of its original design, and as you mentioned, the suites and things like that had to be added in after the fact, the best that we had the capabilities to do. The new facility is designed with these things in mind. So the media suite is an amazing view. It's on the 3rd level of the facility and has a fantastic view of the whole ice surface. And really, when you compare it to the infrastructure at the Civic Centre, a real state-of-the-art media system, that we're going to be able to use to support events and operations there. So I make the joke that it's akin to the first flight by the Wright brothers and the moon landing, the difference in technologies. So,
well, and it was part of the charm of the Centennial Civic Centre, but I could never understand the PA system. I know they did some updates and stuff, and it got clearer. But I remember we did, the Old Timer Hockey Challenge with Guy Lafleur, Marcel Dion, Dale Howardchuk, who has passed away, along with Guy. They all played there, and I remember the intros. And you're down on the ice, and it's like, hopefully the players understood that. Right, so I imagine the difference in PA systems and the communication between the penalty box and up to the is just 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you'd be like, what? What'd you say? Who scored that goal?
The test that I've heard so far, everything is crystal clear. The music gets me so pumped for activities. It is outstanding.
So what is happening at the Cenovus Energy Hub right now? Is the building done and we're just waiting for the infrastructure around it?
The building is done. We are in the final kind of handover phase. So with that becomes a lot of the final inspections that are happening. So a lot of those center around life safety and those, kind of things to make sure we're ready to welcome the public in without construction kind of support, in terms of personal protective equipment and other standards that kind of help with that life safety piece. So we are right there.
That's awesome. So are you there more at the Cenovus Energy Hub or at the Civic Centre right now?
I'd say we're probably, 60% at the new facility, 40% at the other while we finalize items for operations. So. Yeah.
So what is going on? How close is the infrastructure being done, Don? I don't know if you can answer that or not, but the construction around the Gold Horse and the roads.
It's very close. I can't speak to the 40th Ave because I'm not part of that, but I believe everything is just very, very close. I would say that, within the next couple of weeks, we should see all that stuff finalized and, transition over, so.
Yeah, that's going to be... So the grand opening is October 1st.
Yes.
Will there be events in there ahead of October 1st, though?
We'll probably see some user group things, so I would imagine some Bobcat games will probably be the first events ahead of that grand opening. So,
oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I imagine the Bobcats are just... excited like you can't believe.
Very excited. I think, there's an opportunity, and then the Bobcats as an organization have dealt with the challenges at the Civic Centre for a long time. Seeing some historical footage, they've definitely worked hard to overcome those, and I think they're ready. And I think, the community's ready too, so.
Yeah, I think the community is pretty pumped up to see what this new Cenovus Energy Hub looks like and about some of the events that are happening. Are there events planned other than the grand opening?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So, I can't speak to a lot of those, but we do have some plans here up until next year, absolutely, for I would, describe some as more community-focused events and some private bookings and, a combination thereof. And with the intent of hopefully having some concerts here next year, so.
Okay, I don't want to take too much away from the close down of the Centennial Civic Centre because we can take a look ahead to the Cenovus Energy Hub, but this is more about let's say goodbye, let's get your ticket. If you have a memory and I know you guys are also kind of looking for some of that too, aren't you?
Well, we had. So, a lot of that, it was really kind of neat. A lot of the community came and submitted, their times and their memories there, and saw some really cool photos. So some from rodeos, some from concerts, some from events, and some from, old, hockey tournaments that had gone on there. It was pretty wonderful to see that submission from, people in terms of what the Civic meant to them. So,
Yeah. Is there anything I'm forgetting, Don?
Just, again, the best way we feel to do, a send-off for the Civic Centre is to have, create some lasting memories from that one last event. And we really want to do it justice with a nice bash and a nice meal and a nice evening with some great presentations. So
And have it packed.
Absolutely.
That'd be great.
Packing the Civic one last time, I think, would be wonderful.
Get your tickets on Eventbrite. Thanks, Don.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to the Synovus Energy Hub opening, but this is going to be a night to remember, I think. One of those special nights in the history of Lloydminster. We'll be back with you tomorrow. Tracy Kurtz is going to join us. They've got a huge fall festival and street fest planned for Marsden, so we're going to be talking about that tomorrow with Tracy Kurtz, and we'll join you at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. We'll be here at the new Lloydminster in Easton. Enjoy the first day of school, kids.